Staying alive, staying alive. You know when they tape those videos of people hurting themselves and turn turn them into songs and stuff. Yeah,
I
the
love
chick
that one.
that slams her pussy into the wall or whatever. Like
Yeah,
in
it's
this,
her hip bone into her bed frame. Like we
I
watched it on stream the other day, and I was like, "This is the best thing ever."
and then
Like,
I still think my favorite was the dude slamming. It's always the elastic stretching, like the gym stretchy things, like the yoga,
yeah,
like, and then they bands and they get themselves in the crotch, and it's always like, ah! And then they turn that into a song, and I'm just like, yes, this is it. Oh, and by the way, we are Murder Moves, part of the Slash and Cast podcast network.
it's in the game.
It's in Ken's ass or in
It's
the
in my
game or
ass.
whatever. Either way. So Brian was working and Josh ADHD bounced off this movie real hard. The reading was not for Josh. And
It's so funny because like we were talking about it earlier today on stream, and I was like, yeah, like there was. I started it, and I had like laid out some coloring shit, and I was going to color while I watched this, and I
yeah.
was like, man, it has subtitles, and I was like, well, I'll give it a shot, and I started it, and I was like, okay, and then I kept watching, and I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Dude, then I go into Ken's stream like after I finish it because like I was having problems with fucking Josh's Plex, and I finally started working, and I'm just like, the worm, Ken, the worm, because I thought the toes were gonna be the real fucking like the problem. Nope. And
before we get super far, and I'm
yeah,
just gonna let everybody know we're doing Bring Her Back next week.
yeah, we are.
Just already made the decision, and that movie will fuck you up. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, dude, I mean, it doesn't surprise me after fucking after Talk to Me, and I was just talking to I was talking to Katie the other day because we were thrifting for Burning Man stuff, and she was like, she had just seen that finally, and she's like, I don't know, it was okay, and I'm like, one, it's brutal as fuck, and two, it's like the two kids who had never directed a movie before, like a Hollywood movie before.
They're the same ones who did Bring Her Back.
Yeah, it's their second movie. Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's why when you go, it's so brutal, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, do you remember Talk to Me? I mean, where it's just like nothing.
Yeah,
These are
makes so much sense. Yep.
and it's the thing why I'll probably be like, Bring Her Back will be like Talk to Me, where Talk to Me was a one-time watch or two-time watch or whatever. And then it's like, nope, don't need to ever watch that again because most of my horror movies that I rewatch are either hokey, like the Friday the 13th movies, or they're funny. They're like horror comedies. So if you have just like straight up like, this is the most like desperate, like disgusting world you live in and nothing, then it has to be like The Mist, where I show it to people just who have never seen it, just to see them like experience the misery that like is those things. So yeah, it's, I mean, that's why Josh and I talk about it all the time. We're like, we watched The Sadness once and never again. And
I've still not watched it.
I would like to see what the Ken's opinion of that, but Jesus Christ, that movie is just like, yeah, we're gonna kick you in the dick, and then when you thought you've been kicked in the dick enough, we're gonna kick you in the dick again, and then we're gonna kick you in the dick again, and then then we're gonna kick you in the dick again, and it's very much like that. But Ken has gone into woodworking now, and she now worships Nick Offerman. Nick Offerman is her hero, and
Wait, Nick Offerman? I don't know who that is.
he's the guy from Parks and Recs, Ron Swanson, the guy with the mustache that was always wood. He always wood builds things with wood and carves it in wood. You know who he is, just like Nick Offerman. He was on Parks and Recs is his big show, but like he's been in a lot of things. Like he was just in the new Mission Impossible movie. He kind of did some of the narration of. He was the narrator of Life of Chuck, which is still the best movie of the year.
I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah, best movie of the year. And the only thing that's even close is Sinners, but no, best movie of the year. Fucking cried like a little baby yet again. When a movie makes me cry, like it's funny because like when I was a kid, I was just like, I don't want to cry. But now I'm just like, make me cry, motherfucker. Drain that emotion from me. Please. Happy, sad, either or. I mean, I'll watch happy. That's like most of the time in Dungeon Crawler Carl, it's like happy tears or like because things are like, especially when you get into the later books where like you start having things happen that you're just like,
I'm telling you, like I
yeah,
still, and I figured it out. And I don't know, you've read the actual books, so you might get it too. But in book 7, sorry, this is a slight spoiler, so
yeah,
cover your earballs for a second. In book 7, when Donut has to do that very important move with
the
the woman that
ball,
has the chains,
yeah,
I cried.
yeah,
'Cause, like, in my head, I pictured it a very specific way,
yeah.
and I was like, "Oh my god, that's heartbreaking." Well, then I listened to it on the audiobook, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "No wonder everybody acts like I'm crazy." Because if you listen to it on the audiobook, it doesn't have that same emotion that I
Yeah.
got when reading it,
Yeah.
and, like, it fucked me up, and it made me cry,
Dude,
so
the one that gets me in that book was when Carl met the map
Oh,
lady the first
Milk?
time. Yeah, Milk, and I'm just like,
Yeah, because
"Ah!"
like, when he meets what's her face, the other one, it's
Yeah.
kinda like, they have to, like, tiptoe, but when he meets Milk and just collapses, oh,
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking. Man. It's funny because my buddy Dr. Claw just read the first book, and I'm just like, and he's an author. He's like, he's released a couple, and he kind of pointed. He's like, the first book's a little amateurish, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little bit, but I will tell you this, it gets better, and like you could tell that
mhm.
the guy like works on it and makes sure the writing, and it has that heart that like that first book is a little amateurish, but it has
Mhm.
heart that you just go, okay, you get if you can attach to that and go from there, yeah. So
Yeah, my thing is always like that, like, it feels like, most of the time, first books can be kinda like that, and then they'll either get better or whatever. Usually, for
yeah,
me in a long series, it's the 3rd book that starts to, like, really drag out.
yeah.
Not always, though, like, ACOTAR, the 3rd book, is my favorite. Um, I don't know, book 2 is also really good, but, the 3rd
Same thing
one
with
is
Dungeon Crawl Colorado, because I remember you going reading the third book, and you're like, Katie's doing it right now, and she's been reading it for a while because she reads like 4 books at a time, and she's like, I'm like, just it. I get it because the first time I listened to that, I got it, the same thing is the fucking railways and everything else happening, and
Mhm.
it's just kind of. She was like, it's world building, and yeah, there's world building in it, but like, it's a lot to throw at you at one time,
Yeah.
and I think
Well, I
it's
mean,
like,
book 7 kinda does that too. It's a lot of
yeah.
moving parts and a lot of different
Well,
groups, and if you can't keep up with names, it becomes a lot.
you know, I figured out though because I've read the book 7 and then listened to it once, and like I'm on book 5 again right now. It's the that book is like all it is action from like get like,
Yes, and
and
I hate it when books do that. Like,
it's
that one felt 100%. Sorry, this is becoming a
yeah,
Dungeon Crawler Carl segment. That book the whole time felt like I was running, and
yeah,
I would, like, have to stop and be like, "Okay, like, chill.
yeah,
It's not this is not actually what's going on. Like, just
yeah.
calm down."
Well, yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's like that's why those moments that hit in that book hit so hard because it's like
Mhm.
adrenaline, and then you dump it with everything else, and yeah, it's so like, but yeah, it's and without what I've figured out with all those books though, it's like it's such a like they're kind of like snack food because I don't mind, I don't get tired of them, like they're not heavy, and like I couldn't listen to Brandon Sanderson books like I have, like I'm on my third go of listening to the Dungeon Crawler books the last year, um but yeah, and that's what I appreciate. It's like it's not, it is light, but it's also heavy at times, and it's just never like, yeah, there's a lot of difference, but like it's
Mhm.
just wonderful, and I love those books with my whole heart, and I'm probably gonna get a Princess Donut tattooed on my arm at some point, like after
Aw.
Burning Man or probably after TwitchCon. But like now that I've bought my TwitchCon and all that, so I'm like,
How much are
oh.
TwitchCon tickets this year?
I think I got them the first. I got them like the first 3 days, and then they were like giving 10% off. So it was like I just ended up buying a 3 day pass, and it was like 210.
Mhm.
So it wasn't bad. I mean, it was like originally like 250 or whatever, but so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I wanna get a pony. I wanna get
Dude,
Pente.
somebody I've joined the Dungeon Crawler Carl Facebook group, and somebody was like putting like what broke them for, oh no, it was on TikTok, and it was like someone like throwing books 5 on the bed because it was like, and she was supposed to play the piano for him during the talent show, and it's just like
It's so heartbreaking.
Fucking Pony, man. Pony's the best. The worst
Oh,
and the
he's
best. So,
the
yeah.
best.
Uh okay. What else has been going on? Can you've been playing dude, you have been all over the game spectrum the last few weeks. You've been
Yeah,
like
I got stuck in like this rut. That's partially why I've started doing more like creative stuff. Like last week, or I guess it was the like some of last week, but pretty much the week before, I was so lost in games.
yeah.
And not lost in a good way, just like I didn't have anything I wanted to play. I was miserable. I was not
Yeah.
miserable, but like I was just in a slump and nothing
Yeah.
felt fun and nothing felt entertaining and it wasn't capturing me. And I was like, oh. So Katz and I sat and talked about it and he was like, why don't you do more creative stuff? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And so now I'm doing like let's see, we did a coloring stream the other day. We did a Lego stream. Today we built a wine rack. And then like, but I'm also still playing games. So like tomorrow
Yeah.
I'm playing Graveyard Keeper again, and that has been so much fun. I started that and lost the entire day,
Yeah.
completely lost it. And I know that I've played it, but I don't really care. Like, and
It's
people
been
seem to really like it, so
yeah.
I don't.
It's been a
Like I said,
couple of
I just
years at
lost my
least,
day.
right? It's been like 2 or 3 years
Yeah,
since you played that. Like,
yeah,
dude, like as long as you're happy and like, dude, you used to do like Lego streams and shit like that. Like, it's just a breakup of not doing the same fucking thing every single day, and it's just like I get
yeah.
that.
And I just
So
want to learn how to do some new skills. So I
yeah,
ordered a bookbinding kit, and I've got some other stuff I want to build. And then one day this week, I've got a shitload of picture frames, and I want to paint them. So I was like, "Fuck it, we'll do it outside. We'll spray paint on stream, and like,
yeah,
then paint them or whatever." So it's nice. It's very like I feel good about bouncing around with stuff and keeping
yeah.
things like fresher.
Dude, I picked up this game yesterday or on the Steam sale and played it yesterday called Karma: The Dark World.
Uh huh.
Literally one of the fucking weirdest games I've ever played. Like I like went into Zeke's stream or rated him or something when he was finishing it one day, and he's sitting there and I was like, "How's the game?" And he's like, "Weird, man." And I played 5 hours of it, and I'm like, "What the?" It's like a walking simulator, kind of, but just one of the weirdest fucking games I've
It's on
ever.
my wish list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like memories and like investigations and shit, and like fucking everyone in the chat is just like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what the? I'm just sitting there like I have the stream going like this because I
That is
don't know what
so
the fuck is happening. Yeah. And so I'm just like, well, it's entertaining at least. So yeah. So I played that for like 5 hours yesterday. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is. And then went
It's
and saw
supposed to be like a toothbrush simulator or something.
what? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the toothbrush simulator is.
Anyway, sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. I went and saw the new Jurassic Park World yesterday, or Jurassic Park Rebirth or whatever, and it was entertaining, but it's one of those things, man. It's just like there's nothing new to it. At least it's not terrible, but it's just like you go, it's all just like flash and no real substance. You know, they even have their own little baby Yoda slash whatever character on on there now. Oh, I don't know if I talked to you, King, because you were gone for a while and missed some episodes. I've become obsessed with American Dad, and I didn't know that they made the American Dad Roger version of Grogu, and it's Rogu. And he like Roger literally grows this character off of his forehead, and he pops off as like a tumor or something like that. But he's like because Roger had too many personalities going on, and I'm just like, and now he's my phone background. So like I don't know if like how see look you could see him like he looks like a little Roger, but like
Yes, I have
yeah
seen that. Yeah,
yeah
not your phone background, but I've seen that.
yeah. It's Rogu, and I'm just like, what is going on? I don't know. So I've been enjoying that because like I need laughs after how the world is like burning down around us. So
Um, the game I was thinking of is called Mouth Washing.
oh yeah, I played that.
That is so weird looking.
Yeah, it is very. It's like a PlayStation 1 kind of game, but like that was good. It is not very long. I think that was like a single like weekday stream for me. Is like 2.5 hours or something like that something to get through it. But it was good. I liked it. It's worth playing, especially if you like horror stuff. Because like I still remember like the early days of me hanging out in your stream, like playing that Happy's Burger Time game that like was so
That was
fucking
such a great game.
yeah, it was so weird but so good. Like that's what I like when you do these lower like kind of things because like after playing Liza P and like playing Blueprints for a while, I was like, I need something that's just like more rod, and this was like very rod. So like I've been enjoying that. I don't know what else I'm fucking playing. I don't know what's going on, so I get it. It's like that thing where like you're playing games for 6 hours a day, like, you know, 5 or 6 days a week. So like it's a lot, man.
Yeah,
And game.
you get bored with it, and
Yeah.
then like you don't want to be bored with playing games. Like that's
Yeah.
silly, you know. You want to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then you have Bean breaking everything around you, and that's
my
what
gosh,
happens.
if you missed it, Bean had zoomies the other day while I was streaming, and he started from the doorway, jumped around, jumped from the floor over my monitor,
Yeah.
and it's pretty high up, and then did it again, but knocked everything off on one side, then came around and went to jump and grabbed my wrist thing and pulled everything off on that side. And I was just like, okay, well, that was my fault for having, things in this room. I should know better.
Your cats,
And it's
man.
like having a kid, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to know, like, okay, well, if I leave this out, there's a possibility that this child is going to pull this down.
Yep. I have a poodle. I understand because poodles
Yeah.
get bored, and she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna eat this paper,
Yep.
or this paper towel, or this tissue." It's always like soft things she'll eat and tear apart. But like, I'm just like, God damn, Zelda. God damn it. She was like, I took when Katie and I went thrifting. She went and hung out with Trick and Lilith while like, you know, Zach was streaming, and fucking I brought her home afterwards, and she just glared at me for like an hour. Like she was pissed that like I took her away from her poodle friends.
Oh.
She was just like not a happy dog. She was like, and her hair is at that perfect like fucking phase where it looks like she's giving you resting bitch face 24/7. So, yeah.
That's so cute. I took Bean out on like some car rides because we took him to the golf course one day, and I had him in the golf cart and we were riding around, and something happened and he got spooked, and since then he's been weird about riding in the car.
Oh,
And so like we're trying to get him used to riding in
yeah,
the car again.
yeah,
And I took him out the other day. We were going for cats to buy a scroll saw from the neighbor, and Bean got out of the car, and he was kind of doing okay, and he was smelling stuff. He freaks out whenever he sees people, even like if he sees cats, he freaks out at first. But like, so we're at the neighbor's house, and Cats and his dad are like talking through the fence, and on the other side of the fence where his dad is, there's like a bunch of little dogs, well, two little dogs.
yeah,
Everything was fine until he saw Katz's dad's head, and then he started freaking out, and like we were far away. So
yeah,
eventually, and then he heard the dogs barking. I was like, oh fuck. So I put him in the car and he was fine. Well, then we get out of the car at the house, and immediately he sees a rabbit. And while we're in the yard, he still stays on his leash because this isn't fenced in.
yeah,
And he's not an outside cat. And he takes off after this rabbit and this bird. So I'm running with him because I don't want him to not be able to chase. I'm not going to let him catch him, but whatever.
yeah,
So he's having fun. We get around to the back side of the house. We're just chilling, and sirens start going off. This cat loses his fucking shit. Like
yeah,
trying to do backflips, trying to get out of the harness, all poofed up, like freaking
yeah.
out. So like I like laid down on the ground to like pin him down until the stuff would
Yeah,
go
like
by.
calm
And I was
down,
like, okay,
yeah.
it's time to go in. Poor cat.
Poor buddy. Poor buddy. Okay, let's go dive into The Ugly Stepsister from 2025. What country was this from? Like,
That's I was looking at that earlier because
it's like
I want to say it's Norway, but it can't possibly be.
it's some European, it's some like Western European country, but I don't know which one offhand. Which I had heard about this and like the people talking about this. I think this came out in like February or March. It's been out a little while. It's just like it's not English at all. So it's been like slowly making its way through. Like, I mean, this Shudder brought it over here, so like it's got like a big backer, but like it's a retelling of Cinderella, but from the stepsister's perspective. And yeah, Kin already said she loved it. I really did enjoy it, and but man,
Norway, Poland, Sweden, and Denmark.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. So it's all over the place. Do you have the synopsis, Ken?
I do. Follows Elvira as she battles against her gorgeous stepsister in a realm where beauty reigns supreme. She resorts to extreme measures to captivate the prince amidst ruthless competition for physical perfection.
Man, this movie, I have to say, is like there is not like Cinderella's and then Elvira's kind of likable for a while, but like the mom's like, oh, you feel bad for her for a second, and then she turns evil like the rest of the movie. The like, I guess the sister isn't bad either, but like it's the whole thing. Like the mom is the most hateable character in the world because like she's like makes her daughter feel bad. Like she has that nude scene like what about halfway through, like before she takes the fucking tapeworm, and you're just like, dude, you're pretty. Like in like the nose thing, dude. That nose scene was fucking hard to watch. By the way,
Yes, the nose scene was incredibly hard to watch. My thought on it is the younger stepsister
yeah,
was sweet. She
yeah,
wasn't she was just existing. I feel like Elvira, the stepsister that this follows,
yeah.
was not evil.
No,
I
she
feel like she was a product of her
environment. Yeah,
her environment. And to be honest, for those of you that have not heard me talk about this movie broke me in a lot of ways because
yeah,
I understood, and I think a lot of us understand, but I understood where she was coming from.
yep,
And it was so just devastating to see that transition from,
yeah,
a happy, well, not necessarily happy, but kind of a carefree, like, oh,
yep.
whatever, she's got braces, which I immediately went to look up, like, okay,
When
when
did
did braces first
Yeah,
come
yeah,
around? Because I was like, but like, she's got braces, but her mom the whole time is giving her shit, like,
yep,
don't forget your braces, don't smile with your teeth, blah, blah, blah. And like, you can tell she's just trying, and then people keep wearing her down, and it's like her shine just keeps getting pushed
yeah,
away and away and away, and she's trying so hard, and she just snaps.
yeah.
And like,
It's like people compared it to the substance. So, like I saw people going, it's 2025 substance, and it's very much like the same kind of thing where like women's beauty standards and what it does to fucking mental states. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that men, because it's the thing. It's not like men are the only one who do it to women. Women do it to themselves and to each other, right? Like that's like the thing, and it's kind of like the men in this are kind of on the side of it. Like, I mean, they contribute to her, self image, but her mom is the one that fucking like destroy.
yeah, her
And
mom and her teachers that are
yeah,
finishing school.
yeah, are really the ones that really make it worse. And it's just like it is. It's funny because it's like, I mean, not funny, but like the scene where she's like crying to the skinny, not the teacher, but the like I don't even know what she was, but like the principal or something of the school, that she's like, I'm fat and ugly, and I'm just like, how are you fat, lady? Like they made it seem like she was like some like 800-pound like monster. She was like I said earlier, gets naked about halfway through the movie. She's a pretty lady, and it's like they do the same thing where they kind of ugly her up with like they think they put a fake nose on her, and I think they put like made her like prosthetics to make her cheeks and stuff like look chunkier, right? Because like I assume, right? I don't know if you found anything about that because
There's like no trivia that I could find on
yeah,
this. I think like those scenes, I think where like there's a lot of difficulty with it is people, how can I say this? People like to, whenever you say, oh my gosh, I feel so fat, the immediate response is, oh no, you're so pretty. But like, I feel because it's like lost in translation, like I feel chunky a lot now, but I know I'm pretty. Like,
yeah.
and I don't care how conceited that sounds, whatever.
No, I think I think
But
I
like
think being confident is
in
important.
Yeah, well, I mean, and in this movie, like, yeah, you're right. She was not a fat girl. Like, she was a
No,
little bit chunkier. But if you compare her to Cinderella in this
yeah,
movie, they're about the same
yeah.
size. Like,
Cinderella's
even
not.
before she eats the
Yeah,
tapeworm.
she's like Cinderella's not super skinny. She's got like that like athletic build that's like not a rail man, and it's like she's I think by like the ball scene thicker than fucking the main character. It's like
Mhm.
and it's like, I don't know, the Cinderella's character, I don't know about you, reminded me of Rebecca Romaine. Like that's who she looked like to me. Like it was
Yeah.
like it looked like Rebecca Romaine, and I'm like, I'm not saying she's like bad, but like I don't know. It's I was thinking about like when I was talking about how no one's in the movies likable because like that scene where she runs into the prince in the woods, and he's just like, I wouldn't fuck that or whatever he says, and you're just like,
Oh, I thought he said I don't fuck that way because like they were making like humping sounds and stuff.
No, that he was like, I wouldn't fuck that. Like
Oh,
yeah,
got
he
you,
was
got
like
you.
he was saying she was too ugly or whatever. There's okay, so she gets that nose job like what a third of the way into the movie, and
God, that was so painful to
yeah,
watch.
it's and
And
you
the eyelash extensions.
yeah, well, dude, especially because the fucking assistant had gotten them and like he missed and got like
Yeah.
fucking took out her eyeball, so she's got like a white eyeball that doesn't like work obviously anymore, and like he's just like he shoves cocaine in her eyeball to like to numb the give her some kind of fucking anesthesia, and you're like, ugh! And then he's like doing bumps off his fucking hand while he's like, I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, and I'm like, I kind of understand. I'm not saying that I approve the nose thing. I'm like, okay, you're like change this. You are fucking putting fake fucking eyelashes on and I'm sewing them to your fucking eyelids. What the flying fuck? And tell me, man, like this bitch couldn't like. She takes a tapeworm halfway through, and then the rest of the movie, her stomach is rumbling, and you're just like, uh, uh,
I can
uh.
tell you, as somebody who's struggled with that kind of stuff my whole life, the number of times as a kid that I was hoping I would get a tapeworm is fucked up. But those
Yeah,
are the standards.
yeah,
That's what we get played. Like, I
yeah,
can't tell you the number of times
yeah.
growing up that I was like, if I just got a tapeworm.
It
But
is.
that end scene, though, when she gets rid of the tapeworms,
Yeah, I, dude, I was not expecting that because I don't think that's really how it works in real life when you have
I don't
tapeworms. I
think so
think
either.
like they go at the other
You
end.
poison them and you shit them
Yeah,
out,
yeah, you shit
and
them out.
yeah.
But I'm like, in this, she starts like vomiting, and dude, I'm sorry, bitch. I don't. I was wondering if like, did you have a thought in this? When she starts losing her hair, it's obviously from the tapeworms because she's not getting enough nutrition
Yeah.
to keep her head healthy. Did she realize that, or did she just not care? That's what I like. Or
I don't think she would know, to be
yeah,
honest. I don't,
yeah,
because like I mean, like when I like before I had my sleeve,
yeah,
they warned us like, "Hey, you're going to lose some hair."
yeah,
And 6 weeks later, I had chunks, and like some of it still never full. Like this section will probably never fully come back to the way that
yeah,
it was. It's still there's still hair there. It's just not as
yeah,
thick. But like, yeah, if you lose a significant amount of weight pretty quickly, then you're not absorbing the same amount of nutrients. So her hair
yeah,
falling out
yeah,
is just from that. And I'm sure she didn't know why.
yeah,
And her mom didn't know she had eaten the tapeworm. So,
yeah. Well, dude,
but that's
it's
they do such a good job of just showing how broken she was. This is another one of those movies. I was talking about this on stream today. It's very much like yeah, there's some horror, as in like some body horror, which is like the
yeah,
whole concept of this, but this movie to me was very much like Smile or Pearl, where it was mentally heartbreaking,
yeah,
where it was like it gets in your head. And for some people maybe not, but like for me it hit. And I think for a lot of women, especially women in
yeah,
the US, it's gonna hit, and it's gonna
yeah.
hit hard.
Dude, it's just like I said, it's just like the substance where it's just like you see these people that have such like wanting to stay quote unquote beautiful, like by standards not written down by them, that they
Mhm.
go through shit. Like that's the thing. Like that's the part of like the like of the substance that's reminding me of like that first time or the first or second time she calls the number back and she's like, this bitch is doing this, and he's like, well, you can stop it if you want, and she's just like, no, then I won't be famous, even though it's not. I mean, it's not really her anymore at that point, but like still like she doesn't care. It's like what you will give to be, quote unquote beautiful or quote unquote, and she's doing it in this movie to be like with the prince, regardless of like whatever. Dude, like, another thing that this is an American movie. You see multiple fucking erect penises in this movie. You're just like, here's a erect.
Like, that one is just whenever they're in the bar and fucking, it's just
yeah. Ooh, you see the pussy and you're like, what the? And then the dick, and you're just
an entire asshole.
You're just like, that's a back shot, and then like at the end when the mom is like blowing the lower like the air to some like fishing empire like that, you see the dick and then it goes off screen and she's like,
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, because in American movies, if a movie gets rated and put out in America, if there's an erect penis in it, it's automatically rated X. So you can't do that.
Which is so wild to me. Just absolutely mind-boggling.
Well, I mean, it's very much like, you have to remember, Ken, America was started by people that were like, I want to be crazy religious, and you motherfuckers won't let me be as crazy religious as I want. So screw you guys. I'm going this way. And then they came here and got to be crazy religious. And even then, you couldn't be as crazy religious as you want, because if you've seen The Witch, that motherfucker, that family gets kicked out because they were too crazy religious for the crazy religious colony. But like, yeah, and so you just sit there and you go, yeah, we're very, very, very prude people here in America. Just a little bit. But yeah, it's that thing where, like, you're right. This, like, so much of this is just like how women have, I mean, it's getting better, but like the world, like how women used to be only put, like, their beauty was the only thing that mattered, right? Their beauty and their like ability to like please the men. And yeah, like, dude, it's like as soon as the prince walks away to Cinderella, and she's just like it's like fat old dudes and like young, like, it's because then it's only about money, because her mom goes off and married Cinderella's dad because she thought
that he had money.
Yeah, and Cinderella's dad also didn't have money, and also, what the fuck killed him? Because I thought it was a heart attack, but then he spit out blood everywhere, like he had tuberculosis or something like that.
I remember, I think, like, in the books even, that he was like poisoned or something, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a very interesting moment.
Yeah.
I feel like the only person in this movie that I absolutely hated, there were two people.
The mom.
One was the mom, and the other was the doctor. Like,
yeah.
Otherwise, I didn't like the teachers either, like the finishing school people. So okay, so four people in this movie.
The prince wasn't really great either.
No, the prince kind of sucked ass too. So yeah, 5.
That's why I said most characters are shitty in this movie.
Yeah. I think Cinderella, like, she was actually, even though she was kind of a bitch a couple times, she had just lost her father, her entire world. I love the fact that they don't put all of the emphasis on her.
Yeah.
I liked the little sister.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked her because she was just out there living her own life and trying to, like, kind of almost fly under the radar and then still be there for her big sister.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like the pressure that was put on Elvira, I mean, because it included, like, okay, well, you've got to take care of us. Your little sister can't do anything with it, so you're gonna have to go out and get married and find somebody that can take you on. And
then her sister ends up feeling like Gretel from, like, Gretel and Hansel, like at the end, where she just pulls her off. Dude, because I thought after looking at that poster of this movie, which is her foot in the shoe with the bloody end, I thought the fucking worst part was going to be the toes, which was not a wonderful scene.
Not pleasant.
Yeah. Dude, I want to know what the mother was giving her every time she wanted to pass her out. Like, I wonder what drugs she was giving her to knock her the fuck out. But, like,
I don't know if I like some.
What? What?
I said, I don't know, but I'd like some.
Yeah, dude, tell me about it. Sleeping would be preferable. But she knocks out her daughter and then finishes chopping off the toes that her daughter couldn't knock off, and then cuts off the toes. Dude, that was the most infuriating part of like the whole movie, and kind of like showed you how stupid everything was, where she's like, you've cut off the toes on the wrong foot, you dumbass. Because she goes, you have the right foot, you have the right shoe, that means he has the left shoe. And what I don't know is that like there wasn't a I feel like in the book, like in the cartoon, original cartoon, and all that. I don't know if they knew that the prince was coming around with that shoe to be like. It kind of seemed like in this that they were assuming he was going to do it, like because it was like the same night. You know what I mean?
He announced it at the
Oh,
ball.
okay, I missed that then. I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention for a second. That's the problem with fucking subtitle movies, right? Like you and I both like we missed the line that the other one were like, oh no, it's this because God,
I
80.
literally almost always am playing some kind of game on my phone while I'm watching a movie,
Yeah,
and I just obviously I couldn't with this one, but it was fine. Like
yeah,
I enjoyed it. I know why Josh would struggle with it, and I know why
yeah.
other people would struggle to get into it, but I really liked it. Kat said there was something about it that he said. Shit, I can't remember.
I do laugh because on Plex it's labeled as a drama / comedy, and I'm like, I don't like. There are little scenes at the beginning, especially maybe that are a little bit silly, but dude, that like you get like once the nose scene starts, you're just like, there ain't no comedy in this fucking movie anymore, and it's just. It gets dark. This is like fucking the German origins of these fucking fairy tales. Where like, no, this is bleak shit, and we're going to like,
The Grimm's fairy tales.
yeah,
Which actually, oh, I must have it out in the living room. I got one of the original, like old, well, probably not original, but
yeah,
old school print of some of the Grimm stories.
yeah,
Pretty cool.
yeah,
I got it when I got my Bible, my New Testament Bible from 1815. Hold on, let me show you this. This is really
yeah,
cool. If you're listening, you can come sub to the YouTube channel.
yep.
But
We always welcome the free subs, but
it's a New Testament from 1815 that I have no business touching with my bare hands. I will
yeah,
not open it. I'm giving it to my mom, and if she wants to open it, she can open it. But anyway, the
yeah.
reason I show that is because I want the original Grimm's fairy tales. Was Cinderella a Grimm's story, or was that strictly Disney? I feel like it was a Grimm story as well, right?
I don't think Disney came up with many things by themselves, really. Like it was all like retellings of other stories, right? They took the complex story like fairy tales and made them like I think. Don't you correct me in the fucking the comments if I'm wrong, but like yeah, I think it's mostly just like they redid stuff. I mean, and obviously as the years gone by, they've done new things, but like it's kind of like what the start of everything was them like just passing out like the old stories and like putting new coats of paint on them, right? So
Yeah, so Cinderella was also known as the Little Glass Slipper, and it is a Grimm's fairy
yeah,
tale.
dude. So I don't know if you know this. Maybe you could answer. Her Cinderella's name was not Cinderella, and then they just start calling her Cinderella. What the fuck?
Agnes.
Yeah, her name was Agnes. Where the fuck
Yeah.
did Cinderella come from? I don't know. Like, did I miss them explain it?
She was like, I don't, they didn't explain it in there, but I want to say, and I could be wrong on this, is that their origins of because she cleaned the cinders from the fireplaces.
Okay. Didn't they have the scene where she was like sitting in front of the fireplace, like in because they kicked. See, that's the thing that like that's why the mom is as despicable as she is. Like the mom, like then this is the like what's her fucking name? The main character,
Elvira.
Elvira. Like the one thing that like where you start going, oh okay, you're a piece of shit too. When she rats out Cinderella for banging the
Yeah.
stable boy, you're like, dude, why? Like she was always nice to you, and you're just gonna be a bitch and fucking and basically got her kicked out of school, got her kicked out of like the fucking out of the fucking house. Like she lived in like the horse stable or whatever after that. You're like, Elvira, that was like the point where you go, oh, okay, you deserve everything that happens to you at this point because you're like,
I don't know. There's also, though, with that being said, the fact that, again, she had pressure on her to. I'm not making excuses. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, I actually am. She had this pressure on her that she had to like succeed, and she knew that she was in her way. So
yeah, I get
putting up
that, but
roadblock.
it just makes it takes all the like empathy you have for her and just kind of like goes, oh fuck you too, because you're like that's the point where you like you're screwing other people over in the process. You don't like when she's sitting there doing the shit. You just like the plastic surgery and all that shit. You like you feel bad because you're like this girl's going through all this, but then you're like it's all inflicted upon herself. Like it's just her. But when she fucks Cinderella over to get like out of the way and everything like that, you just go, oh, you've lost my empathy for you, you bitch, because that's like well it isn't about you anymore. You're screwing over other individuals, but like I wonder in the context of this version of the film, like in the story, like it kind of feels that like Cinderella wouldn't have had like that dress and everything. Like that dress was gorgeous, by the way, compared to like the one she was wearing, that fucking green and yellow
God,
night.
that green dress with all the shitty looking flowers on it. Ugh.
Yeah, I was like, this is. They're like, she's like, I've never seen anything more beautiful. I'm like, are you blind, bitch? What the fuck? This is hideous. The blue. It's funny because like the blue dress Cinderella wears it reminds me of like the cartoon and things, but it also reminds me like a like J.C. Penney Sierra dress or something like that. It's just like this giant fluffy blue dress.
Sierra. It reminded me of prom dress,
Yeah,
like the blue one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I had a pink prom dress that was kind of like that, except it had a lot of sequins and tulle and. But yeah,
It's like I'm going to prom, motherfuckers. Uh, I don't
it's
know.
wild to think about like that those girls. I mean, again, it's fairy tales, but also at the same time like based is somewhat in truth. Just to think about the fact that like, oh, her little sister, the only reason she couldn't marry off is because she hadn't started her period yet. Like that's so
Yeah.
sad.
What's the
It's so
thing is like they kind of they don't touch it outside of that line, but the mom and all the sex acts that you see with her, I mean, the one scene, whatever, but like, and you hear her fucking that. I think that it was the dude who brought the dress for her. Basically, I don't know. That was the weird thing with it, like where they bring her that green hideous dress, and that dude obviously she's like, you don't know what I paid for this, and then she's getting railed by that guy later that night, and you're like, oh, that's what you paid. Oh, because like
man, that puss must be good because
yeah,
that dress had to be expensive then. So
yeah, dude. I laugh though, like that the instead of the fairy godmother in this, she like her ghost mother comes back to give her the
yeah,
dress. And she's like, your shoes are in your pockets. I'm like, why are you, why are your shoes in your pockets? Okay, like that was such it was such like a weird line to me. Like I know it makes sense, but like it was like, okay, you get this dress, bitch. By the way, one of my fucking favorite scenes in the movie, she's just like sleeping on the rotting corpse of her father, and her fucking mother comes back, and she's like, it reminded me of what was the movie where the chick set herself on fire at the very end? That one.
uh, Ma,
Yeah, Saint Maud.
uh, Saint Maud. Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of those visions she had towards the end of the movie, and then like, or where she thinks she's an angel. That's kind of what that
Hmm.
reminded me of. And her mom comes and gives her, and like the worms are like turned in, the maggots have turned into like silkworms or something like that to make the dress for her.
Oh my god. This is such a side note, but like we were watching this truck deal detailing show the other day at Katz's dad's house,
Yeah,
and he was like, "I've seen this episode before. Just watch." And I was like, "Okay, sorry, just 1 second." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "You see the carpet?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they start talking about this carpet, and they're like, we noticed it was moving, and we looked, and it was just maggots. The whole carpet was just this truck had been sitting filled with shit for 3 years.
Is this the
Just
Pimp My Ride show, but with the semi trucks that, or they'd redo
no,
the?
no, no. It's
No.
just some like detailing show, and this woman had brought her partner or husband's truck in to get it
Yeah.
cleaned out, super detailed, all that shit, and yeah, it was gross.
I guess in Canada, I watched a YouTuber who does like his whole channel is like making fun of reality TV shows. In Canada, there is a show. No, it's not in Canada. It's like on Country Music Network or something like that, where they do Pimp My Ride, but with like semi trucks and shit like that. They did.
I wonder if they do like Pimp My Ride used to do, where they would put all that shit in, and at the end, either you paid for it or they stripped it all out.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah, they would completely empty those vehicles. Like they would strip them out to do everything, and then they'd put all that stuff in it. And then if you didn't pay for the changes, supposedly, if you didn't pay for the changes in the items, they would strip all their stuff out and not put it back to the way it was.
Weird. I know that they did a lot of things of that show that they didn't ever talk about. Like there were stuff for I heard Exhibit talk about it where they actually bought some people new cars. Like there was a guy who had like a car that was like two cars welded together, and they were like, "We can't legally do this," and they had to buy him a new car. Man, I I just say though, like it is sad watching this movie, like and just being like, I did really enjoy it. Like you saying, I thought it was. I get Josh because like subtitles and ADHD always don't go together very well. But you're just like, yeah, I ain't reading subtitles today.
Hmm.
But I thought it was like a good take of like taking that main character and making the stepsister like, because I feel like in the like especially the Disney cartoon and stuff, like the stepsisters are just like these one dimensional evil characters or one dimensional stupid characters, and they take this girl and they make you feel bad for her before like kind of like going, oh, okay, she's gone over that edge. Like you said it, like she breaks at some point during this film because of, and you go, yeah,
Like she was already fragile and bent, and all
yeah,
it took was one little push, and it was a snap.
yeah. Well, dude, it's like everyone. There's so much trauma in this movie, right? Like she tries to comfort Cinderella, like once they moved in after her dad died, and she's like, yeah, when my dad died, and she's like, shut up, bitch. Like you're just like trying to be like. It's just showing you that this girl was trying to help and like she was still trying to hang on to her humanity, and then like you have to go through so much to try to survive, and it's just like no. What did you find cool stuff? I know you said there wasn't really trivia, but did you find anything cool in there?
I flipped around, and like the one thing that I found that's not necessarily in relation to it is just the age of the actors.
Yeah.
Like the main actress for Agnes, she is, let's see, 24. Yeah,
Okay.
24. And then the little sister is 22. Cinderella is 28.
Damn.
Like it's like the actresses.
Yeah.
But it was kind of mind-boggling because I was like, oh, these girls are supposed to be in their like late teens.
Yeah. The main character was supposed to be 18.
Yeah.
They didn't say how old Cinderella was because they got like they were. Dude, did that just feel like a?
They said she was 16. Like there was one point where she said she was 16, and
I know someone else was at the show was like 16, but like, did that whole ball scene it feel like a dog show to you? Because like the dog mom is like barking at her, which I had no fucking clue what was happening with that. Her mom's like, "Aroof!" And I'm like, and then they're like walking them with imaginary leashes. Like the mothers are walking behind them, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like they're acting like they're holding a leash for them, and they're like, this is a purebred Boston Terrier, but no, it's like this is a
lines.
Yeah, it's just like
The growing area is quite warm.
The perfect hobby is walking through the woods and eating vegetables. That was just, dude, that was the thing. Her favorite food when I met her was cake. Also,
Her
that cake,
favorite food when I met her was dick. Sorry.
the fucking cake scene where Cinderella starts giving her cake because she's starving because of the fucking tapeworm. I'm just like, that didn't look like cake. I mean, I know it was dark, but that didn't look like cake.
No.
Did not look like cake, Ken. Um, okay, Ken. I have to say, I did enjoy this. I'm glad. That's why I was like, I couldn't do it as early as you wanted tomorrow, but like, I was like, I'm glad we talked about this because this movie's a ride, man. Like, definitely gonna have a thought about this being the top 5 movies of the year, like horror movies of the year when we get wrap it up. But like, what what movie would you like to see, or what like Hans Gruber fairy tale would you like? Hans Gruber, wow. Hans Gruber, like the guy from Die Hard. What would you like to see as this kind of treatment?
I don't know. It'd be cool to see a lot of them. I think, and this is probably really weird, but the little old lady that lived in a shoe.
Yeah,
I think taking that whole story and like playing with that and putting it into like a dark universe would be
yeah,
really cool because it's just one of those tales that's not really told a lot, right? Like
yeah.
we've got Cinderella, we've got Snow White, we've got Sleeping Beauty, we've got all these princess stories, we've got Hansel and Gretel. Give me the little old lady that lived in a shoe. Tell
It's
me
just
where all the children came from.
I.
Show me that the children had to go work in the mines. Make it dirty, make it gritty. Like, give me some fucked up shit like that.
I mean, isn't that just Florida, like a Florida trailer park? But
Well, then they'll have great inspiration to pull from.
like, hey there, we had we need to have more children because we're gonna run out of aid from the government, so let's go have some more of them. I know the shoe isn't in the best of condition, but we need to get this kingdom. We need to get some more gold for some more children. So
It's like six shoes or 6 trailers that are stacked on top
So-
of each other that are shaped like shoes.
it's like a double wide steel toed boot. And they're yeah, and it's just, dude. Then they make the mom a fucking hooker, and that's why she has so many kids. Like, and that's the only way she could get like is pay for everything is being a hooker, and so she just like keeps banging. So none of the kids have the same dad because they're all just from like. She doesn't even care. She's like, I don't use no rubbers. Just dump it in me, and it's just like,
Fill me up, daddy.
fill me up, daddy.
Oh,
Oh,
here for the next one.
it's extra seasoning. Let me tell you what. Oh man. Oh man. What's funny though, like do have to say, like, I feel like I was sold this movie as it being grosser than it was. Like that tapeworm
Yeah.
scene at the end, don't get me wrong, it's fucking vile, but like it's nothing in this movie is like. I still think the nose scene was probably the hardest to watch outside of maybe the
Nose,
the
and
taper.
then like the eye scene was definitely pretty bad. And like
Yeah.
I've got like you and I have a friend who has like a lot of issues with eyeball stuff,
Yeah.
and that he would not have survived that.
Yeah. I don't love eye stuff. Don't get me wrong. I usually go, and this was like that, especially the first time it stuck it through. I'm just like I didn't know what to expect after that. And then it was like not pleasant, but I was like, it's not that bad. But like, that's something I've never seen in a fucking horror movie before. Like sewing an eyelid like that, like that. I'm just like with cocaine, and then her eyes are rolling back into her fucking head. I was like, man, I don't know, because of like this made in 19 different places. Did you ever figure out, did you ever see a budget for this? Like,
Okay, so I had a couple pulled up, and one said that the budget was like here it is, 4,250,000,
okay.
with revenue being just under 1 million, but it's because it's primarily supposed to be on a
Shudder.
streaming service.
Yeah.
So of course it's gonna fluctuate. But
Yeah. Dude,
I really liked it.
the like, and I bet you half of that fucking budget was costumes, because the costumes are great in this movie. They're like, very time like it. It reminds me of like 1700s Europe kind of thing, right? Like about that
Yeah.
time period. It's like Pride and Prejudice, but with more like insane people. Um, you know what is it? You know, the thing about like movies like this that I always wonder, like, if if the actors in this were terrible or not great, would you? I don't know if we'd be able to tell because we don't know what the fuck they're saying. You know what I mean? Like,
I think you could tell because I mean they're still conveying emotion and stuff. I thought these
yeah,
actors were phenomenal.
I
I
thought they were.
really loved that little sister though.
She just, dude. Okay, okay. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. They made her the stable boy after the mom kicked the stable boy out, right?
I don't think so. She just liked the horses.
I
Like she had been out there riding the horses all the time.
I know, but like she, as soon as they kicked the stable boy out for fucking Cinderella, which by the way, the scene of him running around naked
That was
while the mom's
hilarious.
throwing rocks at him, yes, it was hysterical. She every other time she was in that movie, she was dressed up like a stable boy. So I think she might have been the stable boy because the mother didn't have any money. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm not 100% sure, but like I was wondering if that was like just a rod observation or if that was accurate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Josh would like this movie. I think he probably was ADHD'd hard the day. It's so funny, dude. Like that man like loved Mad God, which was the stop motion movie like that's also on a Shudder. But like I couldn't watch that movie at all with no dialogue, and I'm like, so you could watch a movie with no dialogue and not get bored, but like you start having to read subtitles and you're just like, nope, fuck this noise. Nope. No. I did really like this game and I'm glad you loved it as much as you did because like, yeah, we like I still remember when we talked about Pearl because Pearl was like that we were talking about because of your like, you know, being bipolar and all this stuff. Like I'm not bipolar, but I'm ADHD as fuck. It's like we both are neurospicy shit and the like how that stuff got treated then, you know, and like how people didn't understand it then. Shit, we still don't understand it. Let's be completely honest. I mean, they've learned way more, but we don't understand it all the way. And
Well, I
there's
mean, and then it's always like changing and whatnot. There's
yeah,
like one of my favorite podcasts, you know, besides this one,
yeah,
is Last Podcast on the Left, and
yeah,
Marcus was diagnosed as bipolar years and years and years ago,
yeah.
and recently got retested, and it turns out he just has severe ADHD that can manifest in ways
Oh,
similar to
wow,
bipolar disorder if
wow,
not
yeah,
like treated correctly.
yeah.
So that was really interesting, and that just goes to show like shit's just constantly changing and moving, and
I mean, dude,
um,
even in the last like 10, 15 years, like ADD was a thing still. Like
mhm.
an ADD isn't a thing anymore. It's a ADHD spectrum, right? So yeah, all that shit changes and like it's just like it's weird watching. I mean, obviously it's a modern movie, but like it takes a lot of historical inspiration and then like transitions it into a fairy tale and then uses that to fuck with you, which they did a really good job, man. I thought this was a cool movie, and I thought like I'm glad we watched it because it had been on my radar. But yeah, so I I will say the toe scene was pretty gnarly too. But like, dude, that was another scene. The sister just comes in and fucking gives her a tourniquet because she doesn't want her sister to bleed to death. Dude, okay. The one more thing, and then we'll shut round up. Did she fuck up her tooth falling down the stairs there on that like?
Yes.
So okay, this bitch chops off her toes. The next day, the prince comes. She fucking can't get out of bed, falls down the stairs, fucks up her nose that she went through all that misery with, and has like a fucked up, and knocks one of her front teeth out, like in the
Yeah,
process.
after having all the process work
Yeah,
done of braces
yeah.
in
And
that time
then
period.
And then before she even gets out of the house to fucking try it, like it wasn't gonna work. She looks like a fucking maniac because her hair's falling out. Fucking her nose is busted to the side. Her fucking tooth is all fucked up. And then she's lying on the floor. I did like that camera angle a lot where it was just like upside down looking at the door to Cinderella. And she
Mhm.
goes in, her foot fits, and like so she did all that shit. She chopped her toes off, did all her mom chopped her toes off, did all that stuff for nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing. which
All
you
of
would,
it for nothing.
yeah,
Like,
dude,
and that's just it. Like,
yeah, yeah, dude, and I don't know. Were you thinking this like I was like, bitch, he knows what your face looks like. You were the first one he picked to dance, and probably would have been cool with you if Cinderella hadn't showed up with her magical pumpkin pussy, whatever the fuck it was, you know. So, okay.
I love some magical pumpkin pussy.
Magical pumpkin pussy. Put some pumpkin spice on it and you get some at Starbucks. Woohoo! Pumpkin spice pussy! Okay, Ken. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, just that we are gonna be watching Bring Her Back.
Yep.
Next week.
Yep.
And yeah, I've already watched it. I'm probably gonna. Well, I don't know if I'll watch it again. Like I said earlier, that movie was. It's good.
Yeah,
It's very good.
I was expecting a movie I would watch once. Again, I'm like,
Yeah,
you guys are too good at making me feel despairing, gross, and like hopeless and shit like that. Nah, man. And there's enough of that in the real world.
So hopeless.
Yeah.
Like, this one doesn't feel so hopeless that we're gonna watch. I mean, there is a little bit of that. They do a good job of that, but there are a couple scenes in this that will.
Yeah,
fuck
I figured
you.
as much. Like the ending of Talk to Me is just fucked up as shit. So okay, bring her back next week. Ken, you want to pimp your stuff?
Twitch.tv/continue KINTINUE. I'm live every day at 8 a.m. Eastern, except for Saturdays. I do take like every other Friday off. But yeah.
Yeah. Go hang out with Ken. She's wonderful people, as you know. If you listen to this shit show, I'm still streaming random things, and yeah, my book is still out there. So go pick up a copy of the book, and yeah, that's all.
Wrote a
So
book?
I did
Sorry,
indeed.
I was gonna make a smart ass comment about something else, but I'll hold.
I mean, you wouldn't be the first time. I got talked down to by a member of a community. Yeah. So, yep. Yeah, bitch, I am. I didn't write smut about myself, unlike you whore. I'm not gonna say anything. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Bring her back. So we love you, and we'll talk to you guys later.